I do a lot of like baking, and I'm always sneaking in some sort of veggie, or I'm adding in chia seeds or hemp hearts. If I make like a pizza sauce, like you better believe that pizza sauce has like 5 or 6 different veggies. The kids have no idea, but it still tastes delicious, right? So that's really like my biggest thing that I do to try and keep it sneaky. And it's not necessarily that I hide the stuff from my kids. Like they're fully aware that they're eating a ton of veggies on a regular basis. It's just doing it kind of for myself and for them to make sure that they're getting that additional boost and things they may not necessarily expect.
I'm Mary Mamalidi.
And I'm Jenny Arena.
And we're Bits and Bites.
School is back, and as the mom of twin girls, I couldn't be happier. But now there are some new challenges I'm facing. Lunch pre-pandemic was just that, it was lunch. Now there's a little bit more of a need to be strategic, creative, and most of all, kid approved. So how do I get all that while keeping the safety measures in place?
So let's break this down into sections. The vessel, the packaged food, the creativity, and the high-packed nutritional value. Let's talk about tips for packing a healthy school lunch during and post-pandemic. Helping us pack those healthy lunches is sneaky mommy Natalia Mauer. So, Nat, is it possible to check all the boxes? What's your formula for a fun box lunch?
So I think it is absolutely possible. I mean, as a mom, I've been packing lunches what seems to be like a very long time. And I think my best recommendation is to get the kids involved. So I don't necessarily mean that they have to help you pack the lunch, as, mornings are already stressful enough, but rather help choose items ahead of time so that they know what could potentially end up in their lunch. So what I mean by that is my kids and I have actually developed a list that has different sections for like fruits, veggies, proteins, and snack options. And the kids go through that either on a daily or weekly basis, pick what they want to see in their lunchbox, and then it gives me a little bit of freedom to have some fun with it. So that kind of takes away, it's kind of like meal planning, right? It takes away some of that stress of, oh, geez, another lunch, what am I going to put in it? I think another big thing for my kids especially is presentation. I think my kids definitely eat with their eyes. So lots of colorful meals and like colorful fruits and veggies so that it looks nice as well as also looks fun is a huge thing. So anything like putting things on a stick or cutting them up in different shapes and sizes or adding a little bit of sprinkles on some stuff or including a note or something cute. I think it's, giving something a little bit that's unexpected, but also keeping things like fun and yummy.
Yes, fun with food is always a win-win, I find.
Yes. They love that, right? And it makes it fun for you too, in some sense, if you've got a little bit of time and creativity, right?
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a second about the container or the vessel. What are some good reusable containers, especially for little hands at school?
Yeah, so there's 2 that we use and have been using for years. So there's one called the Yum Box, which is like the original leak-proof bento lunchbox. We actually even used that before school started just to kind of get the kids used to opening it and closing it and stuff like that. So it's got tons of different compartments. It comes with different sizes and designs. And what's great is that it actually kind of tells you like fruits can go here and veggies can go here and protein can go here. And it's like pre-portioned, so that you're not giving them too much or too little. And then the other that's really been my go-to is the Lunchbox Bento Box. So this is the original stainless steel lunchbox. It too comes in a variety of different sizes. It's easy to open, easy to clean, and just super durable. Obviously, there's tons of different options. Those are just kind of our go-to ones that we love and my kids have used forever.
Let's move over to packaged foods. Are there any that you recommend with fuss-free packaging, less hands touching the food, which in turn minimizing the need for assistance from teachers and staff, limiting that close contact?
Here specifically in like my kids' school, they basically encourage us to send like literalist lunches, which means the majority of the stuff has to already be out of the package. Unless it's like, for a couple hours, if it's going to go stale or not taste as good. Then we're allowed to send it in like some sort of packaging, but I usually just do like a little tier for the kids. So it's easy for them to open up regardless. There's definitely two brands that I love and we kind of send all the time. The first one is Made Good. They make a variety of different like snacks and they're free from most common allergens. They're organic and they also contain like that sneaky serving of vegetables, which I love. So I mean, there's cookies and granola minis and bars and all sorts of stuff. And that one seems to be very easy to open. I feel like the portion sizes are really good in that as well. And you can kind of take it out as well as send it in the packaging. And then another brand that we really love that doesn't necessarily come in like packaging that the kids have to open themselves, but something that is like I make with the kids that makes like a big batch is from a brand called Made with Local. Basically, you can buy like a mix and it's just a matter of adding in like honey or butter or something like that. And you can make a big batch of like those like balls or granola bars. And of course, you can kind of throw in, additional ingredients or get even sneakier with it with like additional hemp hearts or whatever the case may be. So they pack really, really nicely in a lunchbox as well.
Okay, so how do we make those daily lunches, fun all the time, keep them from becoming repetitive and predictable? I mean, I want, like you said, I want the kids to be excited about their lunch, opening it up to something new and enjoyable for them, but also by the same token, not wanting to break the bank.
Yeah. So one of the things that I started last year that I was actually sharing on my social media was something called Dinner Tonight, Lunch Tomorrow. And here I basically challenged myself to use last night's leftovers and make something new for lunch the next day. So I'll give you an example. If I serve like spaghetti and meatballs for dinner, then I turn around and then make like a meatball sub or something for lunch. So it keeps things interesting. You're using up leftovers, so there's no food waste, and then kids get to see like the new creations that you've made. So it kind of like becomes a game, right? Like what can mommy make with leftovers, right? Like my kids love that.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That you've challenged yourself and made it into a game almost.
It's like my kids did not. I was to serve spaghetti and meatballs like 2 nights in a row. They'd be like, "Nah, like this isn't happening, mom. Like we're just not going to eat it." But I feel like if I can, help myself out a little bit and just make extra, and if I can convert it into a different meal, then it's like less time that I have to be in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Yeah. So that's one thing that I do. And then another thing that I do is I also love when kids are able to kind of assemble their own creations based on the different compartments that are in their lunchbox. So what I mean with that is like with the bento boxes and stuff, I like separate stuff. So they can do, for example, I'll take like leftover pancakes and fill that in one compartment and then different like yogurt or sprinkles or fruit or something like that in the other compartment. So they can assemble like pancake tacos for lunch. Like they love being able to kind of do their own thing and make their own little versions of whatever it is that I pack. So that keeps things really interesting. And then another kind of like big tip to always keeps things fun is to just cut fruits and veggies into like different sizes or shapes, or like stuff a blueberry into a strawberry and put it on a skewer or something like that. Like kids love when it's like something different that they don't expect. And then I also find that like putting fruits and veggies together as opposed to keeping them separated makes a big difference for like with them for whatever reason, like because it's like, I don't know, unexpected maybe. And then my last reco and kind of what I do to keep things fun is I use these like little picks. They've got like little googly eyes or like, I don't know, like little characters and stuff. And you can stick it, for example, onto like a strawberry and then it makes like a strawberry face. So it kind of has two uses of like being able to pick up the food without touching it with their hands and then being able to pop it in their mouth. And also just makes it like really cute. So yeah.
That does sound like fun.
I think Jen is having a lot of fun with it.
I know. I'm like, I'm already thinking about like starting to pack some of these things for my girls.
Yeah, for your girls, not your lunch. No, Jenny, wink, wink. For the girls. This is where I want to get into the sneaky mommy side of you.
Yeah.
What are some of your tested and approved healthy-ish food swaps or additions that, we can incorporate into a packed school lunch?
So, my biggest recommendation is really trying to make as many homemade things as possible. So, I do a lot of like baking with the kids or, just by myself. And I'm always sneaking in some sort of veggie. So, I'm grating a little bit of zucchini into a muffin or into a banana bread, or I'm adding in chia seeds or hemp hearts, anything to kind of up the nutritional value of whatever it is that I'm sending. So that's really like my biggest thing that I do to try and keep it sneaky. And then, for example, like if I make like a pizza sauce, like you better believe that pizza sauce has like 5 or 6 different veggies that have been blended up, and like the kids have no idea, but it still tastes delicious, right?
Yeah.
So it's always about like I'm always thinking, how can I add an additional veggie in there? And it's not necessarily that I hide the stuff from my kids. Like they're fully aware that they're eating a ton of veggies on a regular basis. And they question me all the time, what's in that pasta sauce or what's in here. And I tell them, but it's just doing it kind of for myself and for them to make sure that they're getting that additional boost and things that they may not necessarily, expect.
That, and I think a lot of times the challenge with veggies in children is the texture.
Yes. I mean, my husband still has texture issues, right? Let alone
Yeah.
my kids.
Yeah,
So of
adults
course, of
still have
course.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I totally get it.
Yeah. So of course it's a thing. So yeah, so it's all about for me, it's all about making it homemade if possible. If not, adding in a little bit of sprinkle of hemp heart somewhere, or grating veggies into stuff. I also think it's just a matter of figuring out what are some of those healthy-ish things that your kids like, and then kind of making them into something different. So, my kids really like chickpeas. Okay, let's make that into a hummus and let's add a little bit of something into there. My daughter is obsessed with all things avocado. So I'll make a guacamole for her and send it as like a dipping thing for her for lunch. So it's always sending something that I always like to send something that's like new, as well as the classics and the comfort that I know that they'll eat.
And is there anything that you can like swap out too, like healthy food swaps that you can recommend?
I don't know. I feel like my kids go through these like seasons of like liking and then not liking food. Like another prepackaged one that we love is it's a company called Willow. And then they do like probiotic bars, which I find to be really, really good. So they're really helping with the gut. And they've got a variety of different delicious flavors. I mean, they've got the chocolate, and they just released school-friendly ones as well.
Okay, so for our listeners right now, they want to put together some of your favorites, favorite brands or favorite snacks in general that you prepare for them.
So I do a lot of mini muffins. I've got a lot of muffin ones on my website. I do a lot of, there's a whole different different brands of like roasted chickpeas that my kids love. Like I said, Wheelo is a big one, Made Good, the Made with Local.
For a while there, I was stuck on roasted edamame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yummy. Hippie Snacks make some good stuff as well. They've got like cauliflower crisps and avocado crisps and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's it. But I feel like our family has really, 3 or 4 brands that we love and that we stick to. And like, yes, we'll try other stuff, but they've really become kind of the favorites. And I just kind of rotate those.
Mary, what did you learn from our school lunches episode?
All right, so I did learn a lot. Aside from you wanting to buy these little picks just for your own lunch with these googly eyes and using the girls as an excuse, my takeaway was it's not about hiding the veggies in meals. It's about creating meals loaded with nutrients and complementing flavors and minimizing the texture of raw vegetables in a meal. This way, the kiddies are less likely to pick them out. What do you think? Jenny, what did you learn? What's your takeaway?
My takeaway is that I seem to be on the right track. I mean, I've been packing school lunches for 7 years now? Mm-hmm. And since day one, I've always, since kindergarten, I've been asking my girls, what do they want for their lunch? Helping them with their food choices and letting them get involved. And it's been working for us. And turns out that, it's a legit way to get the kids to enjoy their lunches.
And this is going to sound odd. I have to ask you this. Do you do the little star apples and little circles and all that stuff, or stuff a blueberry into strawberry like Nat suggested?
I have only done the fancy kind of lunches for special occasions. So I reserve those for like Halloween, Christmas, their birthday. I'll get a little creative and get a little fancy when it comes to more of the holidays and like special occasions. But Mary, I would do it for you if you wanted it.
Okay, Jen. I will take you up on that. Thank you all for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to Bits and Bites on your favorite podcast player and leave us a review and star rating.
We'd like to thank our editor, Matt Agnew, and remind all of you to take a little time to chew, chat, and chuckle.
Helping us, oh, wow, hello. All that, and then I screwed up the very first line.